To talk about conversion can seem super abstract, and how on earth am I going to do this? But today we're going to talk about 6 tips that can help us learn how you actually can live conversion in your life, because it's probably way more simple than you think. Number 1, gestures of reconciliation. What does that mean? That means simple gestures of reconciliation with another person. For example, if I'm kind of at odds with someone at home and I know that they love whatever type of cookies, maybe today before they get home, I'm going to make them those cookies, because when they get there and realize that I did something that they like, I don't even have to say sorry, or we don't even have to continue necessarily with the conversation. That might be enough for that person to know where my heart is, and that above and beyond the difficulty we're having, there is true love for them. And that might be all that's needed to continue walking forward in that relationship. 2, helping the poor. What does helping the poor have to do with conversion? Helping the poor, we can explain this from tons of different angles, but I'm going to share with you my personal experience. When I go to help somebody in the street, listening to them, giving them food, whatever, the first step that I'm giving appears to be something that I'm doing for them. But in reality, they're the ones who are teaching me something so much greater, because it's so hard for us who have house, clothes, job, whatever it is. We have so many things that sometimes it's hard to realize that deep down, the only thing we really have is God's mercy. But when I go to somebody on the street, they already have lost everything. And so they have really, really clear that the only thing that they have left is God's mercy. God's mercy that's expressed through me, who's going out to help them. God's mercy and His forgiveness. They know that at the end of the day, they don't have anything else to offer other than embrace God's mercy. So when I go out to them, they teach me the most essential things in life. 3, recognizing my own faults. Recognizing my own faults can sometimes be really hard to do. But once we're able to do that, it's so freeing, because if I can go at the end of my day and take just a couple of minutes to go back over my day and say, in the midst of everything I did, the 20 things I got off my checklist or whatever, did I live those with peace? Was there serenity inside of me, even though externally there might not have been? And that's when I can say, oh, at this moment, I got really tense with this person. So I realized that there's something that I can change for the next time. Sometimes it doesn't even have to do with other people. It might even just be that I'm like, I spent the entire day with these negative thoughts going over and over and over in my head. Oh, so that's something I want to change, because that's something that's not allowing me to live with greater peace inside. 4, fraternal correction. Fraternal correction. We probably haven't even heard that term used in ages. It's a term that the church has used throughout the centuries. But today, what does that actually mean? It means I go and I tell my brother, guess what? You're messing up on this. You need to fix it. No, not at all. Fraternal correction comes from a place of love. So when I can go to a person, not to tell them to change, to think like I think or do what I want them to do, but when I can recognize that there's something where they're hurting themselves or hurting others and they're not realizing it, I want to go reach out to that brother and first of all, communicate to them through my words, gestures, whatever it is, that I love them, that I accept them, that I embrace them fully, even if they were never to change. Let them know how much they are cared for. And it's from that place of love that then I can try and open up their eyes to make them see that something that they're doing might not be good for them or for others. That's fraternal correction. This is a key element in our own conversion. When we get to the point when we're free enough to be brave enough to be able to go and help my brother to be better. 5 is when we can embrace suffering. Suffering is such a huge mystery in our lives. There are things that are so difficult for us, but when I'm able to actually embrace suffering is when I'm able to actually live from within. And that's what true conversion is about. It's about living from within and letting that life of God united to mine bring me to the fullness of who I am. But when I'm constantly fighting with sufferings that come from other circumstances because I can't hear God in prayer, this other person is making my life really difficult, or because the economic situation at home, there can be so many different things that are real issues that cause the suffering. So this isn't about taking away suffering, but it's about accepting my reality today. Tip number 6, embracing your cross every day. What does that mean? That means taking every day the way it is and being able to carry it, but letting our eyes be focused on the essential. It's kind of like when Christ was walking with his cross. He wasn't calculating how many pounds am I carrying on my body to how far could I go. He wasn't saying how many people were insulting him or not. He had his eyes 100% set on his love for us. And that's what helped him to carry through what he had to live that day through his passion. And that's what it means to carry our cross every day. It's to put our eyes on where we're going in our lives and letting that be the motor to help us embrace every single day with all of its different circumstances.